Keep on this too. Heavy is the head. I see the boat throwing. I'm too full with it. I gotta keep going. Kobe with the wins. You niggas just Ginobili. You win and only cousin me. Let's keep the ball rolling. No disrespect, Slim. Where is your check, Slim? Welcome back to another episode of the You Weren't There podcast. I'm, of course, your host, at Mia Was Here, and we got another good one for you today. Before we get started, I'm going to let my guests introduce themselves, and then we're going to get right to it. Let's go.
My name is Goezko, and I went to Saga City, and you weren't there.
Rico.
Name Don Rico. My socials is at _ DONRICO _ That's on all platforms.
Excellent. So, as y'all know, we always like to start by, making sure that we give our guests an opportunity to kind of tell their story, where their journey began and how they got to where they are right now. So we're going to go ahead and start with our routine guest, Don. He's been here once before, right? So he know to keep it short. So we're going to go ahead and start with him and get right into it. Give us your story, Don.
Native Washingtonian, born and raised, Ward 8, Southeast. Started my music journey when I was about 6. That's when I started. Been interested in music. Dropped my first album like 20. It's like 20. Had many stage names since then. Just trying to find my niche. And now I moved over into ministry. So now I'm officially an ordained minister now. So music and everything had to change.
We're going to sure get into that.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've known Donna a long time.
Facts.
And he has grown. We'll say that.
For sure.
So why?
Why ministry?
Yeah.
When God called, you got to pick it up and answer it. That's just really what it is. I've kind of always known that I was supposed to do more, but I was always just fighting with myself with trying to separate from who I used to be with who I know I'm supposed to be. And then it just got to a point where it was like God saying, hey, look, this is what you're supposed to do. I showed you a stage, but I never told you what stage it was. And so, my own selfish wants interpreted a different stage. But God's like, no, this is what I had for you. And so, I basically, I talk to God like we're talking right now. And so I told him, like, well, if this is what I'm supposed to do, then I need you to make it easy for me. Like, I don't want, because, music is hard, right? It's very difficult. And so I'm like,
to me, the hardest career in the world.
Exactly. And so I'm like, if this is what I'm supposed to do, then I need you to make it easy. And so literally after I said that, my CB, which is like my covenant brother, he posted his ordination. And so I was like, okay, cool. Like this is really for me. So I reached out, like, yo, how'd you do it? He invited me out to Bible study, and it's been going ever since. So yeah.
We can get into that. Esco, I think a lot of the people watching this one already know who you are. You've had a very storied journey, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I don't think we're going to be able to cover all of it. We only got about 2 hours, but we certainly going to get into as many details as we can. But just in terms of like kind of how you started, where your journey began, give us the details.
So I'm African. I was born in West Africa, Cameroon. I was born on a mountain actually, and I believe I am the descendant of a deity called the Apasamoto, and he resides on that mountain. When I came here as a kid, I had like a tumor growing in my throat, and I came here with like a medical visa. I started going to school here. I fell in love with music as I got older, but I used to get in a lot of trouble. And I got sent back home. When I got back home, I fell in love with music over there. I had like a kid in the neighborhood who had like relatives here too, and he used to make music. And I just kind of fell in love with the lifestyle and what it looked like, and I just thought it was cool. I used to make poetry though outside of that,
Mm.
and one day he was like, "Yo, you should make these into music," and I did, and I fell in love with that feeling and wanted to keep it going. Fast forward 2016, I dropped my first album. I went to South by Southwest, met a lot of different people, and started networking and moving around and trying to take it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Recently, I had a discovery. I was thinking about my past and doing like a self discovery journey, and I had a thought about something that was on my mind since I was a kid, and it revealed to me Saga City, and
Mm.
that's where I'm at now. That's the journey I'm on, and that's where I'm taking it to.
Got you. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about that, right? How did you come to this realization? What does it mean?
So, like I said, I was born in Cameroon. Cameroon is a bilingual country. They speak English and French. And when I was a kid, I actually went to a missionary school where they train people for the Catholic priesthood.
Hmm.
And I used to, and French is like being French being one of the languages we studied. I fell into pretty. I prayed for wisdom. I prayed that wisdom would be what would help me succeed in life, and I believe that God granted me that wisdom, and I made that the foundation of my brand because Saga City, in French, Saga Cité means wisdom.
Mm.
Mhm.
So I broke that down into two words and made it Saga City because if you break the French word into two, it would be Saga Cité,
Mm.
Mm.
Saga City.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I just used that and made that the location that stood as a symbol for my ambition and
Mm.
as ambition for everyone else as well who wants to go on this journey with me.
Mm. Wow,
Yeah, that's dope.
it's a hell of a start, isn't it?
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. I have a question. So when you say you feel like you're the descendant of a deity, right?
Hmm.
Where does that like align with kind of like, because I like grew up in the Catholic Church. I'm very much Pentecostal, but I went to Catholic school my whole life, right? And I
Hmm.
think there are a lot of very specific beliefs that come as a result of Catholicism.
Mhm.
Some of which I agree with, some of which I find to be more interesting. But I think that there's like a certain level of like very like consistent structure, right, that has existed for centuries specific to that particular religion, right? So much of the world was built on the premise of that particular structure. So when you look at kind of like your upbringing in Catholicism, if you will, and then kind of like your understanding now of the deity that you were born from and like kind of your understanding of God, how do those things align?
So the way they align for me is I'm not really I used to be a Catholic, but my beliefs on spirituality are a little bit different now.
Mm.
So they don't really conform to just what I learned from Catholicism alone. Because what I grew to disagree with religion the most was how it separates people.
Mm.
So for me was what I decided to do with what I believe. My biggest thing is what I believe in love, right? Because I feel in the even from the Bible, that's like the basis of my belief. In the Bible, it said Jesus said that all the commandments could be combined to tell you that love is the biggest thing. So I've taken from every belief system, if it subscribes to that, if it adds to that, if it can provide to another human being and give that message of love, then I believe that I can add it to what I believe in and what I want to continue to believe.
Okay, I like that. Don, right?
Mhm.
You are a newly appointed minister in a
Mhm.
Protestant church, right? What's your
Not
take on that?
non-denominational. Yeah,
Non-denominational church. Okay.
non-denominational.
What's your take on that?
On which part?
All of it.
Okay. So, for me, um, as a Christian, a minister, I believe that Jesus is the only way, right? The way, the truth, and the life. No judgment to what anybody else believes. That's not my business. I don't have a heaven or hell to put anybody in.
Mm.
Um, but I know that I'm a sinner who needed a savior, right? And I agree with Esco, about love. The Bible says, above anything else, have fervent love for one another, for love covers a multitude of sin, right? So it's like it doesn't get rid of it, but it covers it. So as a Christian, my belief is on God's truth, and I stick to that. And so again, I don't judge anyone for their beliefs. Whatever anyone believes, that's on them. But for me and mine, we worship the Lord. The Bible says some trust in chariots, some trust in horses, but for as me, we will serve the Lord. And so that's where I am.
Okay, I respect that,
I
and
respect
I
that
agree
too.
with you both. Um, everybody know I'm a church girl. Um, but I think I grew up in a Catholic church, and then you get some life experience underneath you,
Hmm.
and not all of this starts making sense
Hmm.
or continues to make sense. And then, like, I think you get to a space where it's like, okay, I've been running from God's calling for long enough. Like, it's time to go home.
Hmm.
And so, I feel like that's a little more where I'm at now. But I do think, like, being younger and growing up in a church, there's like a certain level of separation that I remember that may have like kind of started with my generation specifically,
Hmm.
where it's like you're having these life experiences that teach you to love people,
Hmm.
right? And I think like 2000, I feel like 2000 like 10 is when I really remember like people like coming out and feeling okay with themselves, and there being like this really huge youth movement behind it.
Hmm.
And I remember a lot of churches that were like, I don't know, I felt like kind of pushing people out as a result of that, right? But
Hmm.
love does cover a multitude of sins. And I think like a lot of modern churches, no matter what the denomination, it is easy for those of a previous generation to look at like the flaws of our generation and
Hmm.
younger and feel like, well, because you're not dressing this way, or
Hmm.
because you don't speak this way, or because you don't behave in the way that they find to be acceptable, which has nothing to do with love. It really is just about the structure behind the thing.
Hmm.
That they tend to like push people away.
For
And
sure.
I know a lot of people that I can't get to come to church or come to God right now because of like a rejection or a hurt that they experience like
Absolutely.
within the realm of that structure long ago.
Absolutely.
And it's dangerous.
Hmm.
And the blood is gonna be required of your hands on that too.
For sure.
But I do think like we in a stage now where like love has to be like the driving force behind everything that you're doing. And that's
Hmm.
when it comes to how you deal with people.
Hmm.
That's when it comes to how you handle your passion. That's when it comes to, how you push your dreams and your ambitions forward. Like love has to be at the core of everything that you're doing, in my mind, for it to function.
Absolutely.
So all that being said, right?
Hmm.
We've all like I think grown in who we, used to be versus like who we are now, and are still growing in our journeys, right? When you two look back at like where you were 5 years ago, 10
Hmm.
years ago, what do you feel like is kind of like the best lesson you learned along the way? And like what do you feel like was the worst?
Okay. So for me, right, and to piggyback off what you said, everything you said was 100% accurate, and it also can be backed up with scripture. Um, because again, Jesus, with talking to people, he was the only person that ever lived that could judge, but gave grace instead.
Facts.
And so
Let me tell y'all something.
when it comes to people who have led people astray from the church because of the way they present themselves, they will have to be held accountable for that, right? Like as a minister, my accountability is different. It's a little more stronger because of the position that I've been put into.
Mhm.
And so with that, I have to be careful on how I move. I have to be careful about what I'm putting out into the world, what I'm saying to people, how I'm making people feel, right?
Right.
Because as a Christian, you're supposed to love what God loves and hate what God hates.
Mhm.
What does God love? The truth in us. What does God hate? Sin. But with that being said, it's not for me to judge the person. I can judge the sin and tell the person with love how they can move forward, right? But to answer your question, the best lesson that I've learned in my journey was that everything happens for God's purpose. It's all for the greater good, right? Everything that I've ever endured in my life, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent, was all perfectly orchestrated to get me where I needed to be, to reach the people that I need to reach. like you know my story. We, like you said, we known each other a long time, so you know where I've been, you know where I am now. People will see me now, like the older saints. They see all the tattoos, you know, and they like, "Oh, how can you?"
Mm,
But it's like, yo, if you actually read the Bible for yourself, Jesus hung with sinners.
for
He
sure.
also said
The
that I did
worst
not
among
come
men.
exactly, and he also said I did not come to call saints. I came to call sinners to repentance.
Yeah,
So I am the type of person that he would call because I look like the world, but I'm not of the world.
for sure.
And so that's the difference. So that's the best thing that I've learned about it. The worst thing that I've learned about it is also probably one of the good things, where it's like nothing really matters but where you end up
Mm,
after it's all said and done.
for sure.
So it's like earth, like living, breathing life and all of that is great, but it's a flash in what really matters. And so when you think like that, or when I've come to that realization, it's like, okay, I shouldn't take things so seriously. Nobody makes it out alive. The only thing, so it's like now that the only thing I really take serious is my salvation and helping the salvation of others. Anything outside of that, it's like, who cares?
Mm. Esco, best lesson, worst lesson.
I'm sorry. Say it.
Best lesson you've ever learned, worst lesson you've ever learned.
Um, hmm, best lesson I've ever learned. I think for me, the best lesson I learned on my journey is, I think is just to water my garden. You know, they say the grass is greener on the other side, but truly the grass is greener where you water it.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to have a lot of people who supported me, but I couldn't see them because I was looking for support elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're an artist out there, I don't want you, don't do that. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You know what I mean? So make sure before you start looking for support elsewhere, make sure you're showing you're giving an example to the other supporters that you want to turn into fans. You're showing them how you're going to treat them in advance. If you're not doing that, you're not doing your work. Um, I guess that's my best lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my worst lesson is, or my, I guess my worst lesson would have been I had to learn the hard way that I had to balance my life with my music career as well.
Mm.
And a lot of people, I think that kind of became a new trend. A lot of people thought or think their talent is so above and beyond that someone will find them and take them there, but it doesn't work that way either.
For sure.
So I think a lot of us learned that the hard way, and but that's, I think, yeah, that's probably the hardest lesson that I learned, and I'm better for it, and I'm glad that I did learn that lesson.
Mm. And I know we had shout out to Judah, Judah on the beat, who is an incredible pioneer in this city as far as like production and really business and building a lot of the early components of the scene from the ground up. He said something on last week's show that I really thought was brilliant. And he was talking about like we forget that we're like first generation musicians here.
Mm-hmm.
And that as a result, right, if you come from like New York, if you look at the kids now coming out of like Atlanta and Texas, right, they might have Bumby sitting at their dinner table, right,
Facts.
or like they father might have went to high school or
Mhm.
grandfather might have went to high school with Russell Simmons, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? And like so you have this benefit in those areas of like this legacy of music and getting an opportunity or at
Mm-hmm.
least knowing how
Mhm.
to create some of those opportunities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was right
And I
there.
think like because like when you look at like Nucci, right, and what he's doing with Front Porch, that's a great example of like a
Absolutely.
first generation artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like his father was the first in that clan to do that, and then he became the first generation to like really carry that on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's something that like Judah gave me, something that he gave Tyrellington that I thought was beautiful because I think we do put a lot of pressure on ourselves here without
Absolutely.
remembering that like we didn't have anybody to show us how to do it properly.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not just in terms of like the steps and tools that you need to kind of build your brand or to build a label or kind of like those dreams of the past that like maybe you don't need anymore because everything is digitized.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't have anybody to show us how to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's in terms of like not just your music and the tools, but also like how you carry yourself in it all. Right? We didn't know if you walk into a studio with like a major producer, like how do you pick the songs that you're
Right.
supposed to play? Like how do you present those songs, not just in terms of what you're hearing on a mix and a master, but like how you handle yourself in that room.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have the benefit of like knowing that like if you don't approach this with humility, which I think people's like low self-esteem can mask itself as arrogance in a lot of situations.
Mm-hmm.
And so you really feel uncomfortable when you're
Absolutely.
in these rooms and you really feel like I don't even know if I deserve to be here. And
Mm-hmm.
so you like tend to overcompensate with like a lot of overconfidence, which
Yeah.
is the wrong way to approach that. But
Yeah.
we didn't have anybody to tell us that.
Exactly.
Because really, I think like the people sitting in these chairs right now are representative of that first generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think like Don, you have children, and really like they're that next generation of like
Mm-hmm.
what this could all become if that's what they so choose.
Yep.
But we really were the first out of this area to like do this and get it done. And there have been a million success stories, right? So we don't want to downplay none of that. And that's not what I'm saying, because I know how y'all niggas like to misinterpret. But what I'm saying is like, don't beat yourself up for not knowing what you should have done in certain situations or who you should have been in certain situations or how you should have
Mm-hmm.
carried it, because we didn't have anybody to teach us that.
Yeah.
We didn't have anybody to walk us into these rooms and to give us the game in terms of like how you handle it. And the reality is like music is a very like fleeting opportunity sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you enter a room with a goal and you never get that opportunity again.
Facts.
And if you missed it that one time, like it might never happen for you that way. And that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that your dreams are over by any means. Just to say that like to like live your life or to continue to walk your journey in an effort to try to recreate that moment or try to
Yeah.
get another opportunity at that moment, I feel like it's a waste of your time.
Absolutely.
And I think really what we need to start focusing on collectively as an area is like forgetting those things that which are behind
Mm.
and like to press towards a mark. Now, whatever that mark looks like for you is what it looks like for you, because your journey is your journey. But I think we do a lot of like self-reflection, which turns into like self-loathing
Mm-hmm.
and turns into like this like shoulda woulda coulda of like all the opportunities that you missed, when just as much grace as we supposed to give other people, you got to give that to yourself.
Absolutely.
You got to get that to yourself, because the truth is like you didn't know.
Yeah.
And you can't keep holding yourself responsible for what you didn't know before.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because time stops for no man, it waits for no man. And I feel like there are artists that frankly like you should have been gave this shit up. And that's not because like you too old or you aged out. Clips is clearly proven that that's ridiculous. Niggas 55 cranking.
Facts.
So like I don't necessarily believe in that overall. I think like a great gonna be a great.
Mm.
But I think it is like the reality is it's not gonna happen for everybody.
For
And
sure.
that doesn't mean that you can't still continue to pursue an ambition, but maybe you need to tweak what that looks like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I think it's some people that like they are so hurt and so lost about an opportunity that they missed 10, 15 years ago. And they've spent the last 10, 15 years trying to recreate it or trying to get back in that room or trying to
Mm-hmm.
recreate that same situation. It's time for you to move on, man. Like that's my message for you
Yeah.
today. Like it's time for you to move forward.
For sure.
And to really like reclaim your purpose. Like what does that look like? What is it that you're supposed to be doing?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to change the journey by which you travel that road.
Absolutely.
But I, everybody ain't gonna be clips, man.
Can I chime in with that? Like that, because that's
Absolutely.
so true. So like speaking for myself, that was one of the hardest things that I had to realize too. You know, because we get so engulfed in our abilities, right? And we know how good we are at things. And so for me, I'm like, as well as I rap, as well as I put songs together, as well as I write the artistry, the whole nine, I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's not clicking?
Right.
You know? And so the hard part for me was coming to the realization, like, hey, you gotta do something else. You know, it was like, cause this ain't it.
That's hard.
Yeah,
It is.
it's like this ain't it, because then I started battling with that self-identification. It was like before, yeah, it was like before music, I was a street guy. Now I'm the music guy. So it's like I ain't in the street no more. So that ain't it. And if I give up music, who am I now?
Mm.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
And it's
what am I
scary
supposed? Yeah, it's like,
having
what
to
am I
face
supposed to
like
I did?
figuring out all of that out,
Yeah,
especially as you get older. Now
yeah.
you 30 something, and it's
You know what I
like,
mean? So
damn, I gotta start this whole thing
start
over
all over
again.
again.
And the truth is that, like, I remember Nipsey said, like, the only distinguishing quality was that he didn't quit. And
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be some people that get to it because they didn't quit.
Facts.
But I think we gotta be more like in tune. And this is why, like, I do take the time to like kind of make sure we're exploring a lot of different things on these shows, man. Like, cause I want y'all to have like a real understanding, not just of like music and how to navigate the industry or sync licensing or how to make money or how to grow your brand, but also like an understanding of emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And a part of emotional intelligence is self acceptance. And a part
Mm-hmm.
of self acceptance is being honest with yourself, having a real conversation with yourself, with the God that you serve, whatever that looks like for you, and making a real assessment on is God telling you to keep going or to
Mm-hmm.
pivot?
Yep.
And I think like that's gonna be for me the distinguishing quality for a lot of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like it's some people they not supposed to stop. Malice clearly was not supposed to stop. He's
Facts.
like 55.
Facts. And ain't
But
miss a beat.
and ain't miss a beat. He was cooking push on a couple of them joints. I'm not gonna
Facts.
lie. I listened to the album. I've been listening to it for 2 days. He
Yeah.
was cooking push on a couple of them joints.
Facts.
I was like, man, that boy ain't lost a step.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know that it's God given.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that like some people are like so stuck in their past, so stuck on what used to be, that you thinking that that was the best time of your life, or
Yeah.
thinking that like that was what it was supposed to be and I missed my opportunity. No, you're missing all the opportunities standing in front of you right now.
Come on.
So like it's a lot of things that God got for you for your future. New opportunities, new music, new branding opportunities, new fans, new whatever. And you're missing that because you're so stuck on what you used to be. It's time to grow up, man. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
say that to tell anybody to give up on their dream, because like I just said, like I don't believe in that aging out shit. If you got it, then you got it. And I think if that's your purpose, then that's your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta like start identifying like why is that your purpose too, right? I feel like it's no question that music was Nipsey's purpose, but you don't always get to see the end road of like what it's all gonna be either.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
like people like have this image in their minds of like what this looks like in a 10-year period, a 20-year period, and sometimes like the fruits of your labor you don't even get to see any of it.
Right.
That's an unfortunate reality, and especially if you come from here. We lose people all the time in these streets. It's a destructive place to grow up. And I
Man.
think that's why we are a little harder. And Judah was talking about that too. About, you don't need a label anymore. To me, that's a very antiquated way to see the world. And I agree with him
Mm-hmm.
on that. But the truth is, like, outside of not needing, like, what we used to view as the infrastructure of it all,
Mm-hmm.
I think is that we were never going to have that because we're a little too harsh coming from here.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think
For
like
sure.
we are a slightly more aggressive people.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
not letting folk just run over us.
At
We're not
all.
letting people talk to us any kind of way. And I think in a lot of ways that's a good thing because maybe we get taken advantage of at a slower or lesser rate. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, I also think it creates a lot of conflict with like the brands that we build, the relationships that we
Yeah,
build,
for
the
sure.
collectives that could occur, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And speaking of that, right? Esco, there was one point in time you were in a group,
Mhm.
right? Shout out to my boy Nature. Shout out to Brain Rap, who's like a brilliant business owner. Shout out to the coffee shop with the wife. And I mean that was really like how I became aware of you.
Mhm.
And you guys were touring, and it was like this amazing thing, right? And we don't want to get into like what happened because that ain't really none of our business and that ain't none of my concern either. But what I am curious about is like when you look back at that time, what did you learn from it?
I think personally, I learned that group dynamics are hard.
Mm.
Group dynamics are hard, especially as an artist, especially having your own ambition and your own ideas, and it's not like anybody's ideas aren't as good or mine was better or mine was less. You know what I mean? I think it's just having different visions and different ways of executing and thinking differently.
Mm.
And I wish I would have known or had the maturity to be able to handle things a little bit differently. That's the only thing that I feel I could like really speak to that.
Mm.
But other than that, I think it was a great opportunity. I had a great time. I still have a lot of love for nature and brain rap, and yeah, you know, yeah, I guess that's really the most I can say about
Yeah.
it.
I think that's beautiful. Like I look at a lot of the artists that were coming up in that time, and I think there was a lot that could have happened, right? Maybe there weren't groups, but maybe there could have been. And even
Mm-hmm.
if there weren't groups, maybe there could have been a, like more of a collective effort to like create and to build things. But I think like a thing about this area is like we have so much confidence, and
Mm-hmm.
it's very easy for that confidence to turn into ego. I know it certainly did with
Absolutely.
me. Like
Absolutely.
you get to a space like I can't speak for nobody but me, right? But I got to a space where it's just like, no, there's no other girl that's a better rapper than me in this entire city. There are times I still feel that
I mean,
way,
you're supposed
frankly,
to feel like that.
but like I think there's like you prevent yourself from so many opportunities
Mm-hmm.
by like putting your ego and like your understanding of your talent above like a collective effort that could
Mm-hmm.
be lucrative.
Yeah,
That's really like the
for sure.
reality of it. And I think now more than ever, I think what really taught me that was like Cardi.
Yeah.
And when I look at like Nicki, right? Nicki Minaj has this air about her, right? And she's living in that air now that she yes, you can. She's living in this era of like right now she don't fuck with Jay-Z and he owe her
Yeah.
a couple 100 million
Two
according to
hundred.
her and all of this. But
Shit, 200.
and I'm not the biggest Nicki fan from like a maybe like a imagery standpoint or like
Mm-hmm.
the like kind of like the person that she presents to the world or like the persona. But I
Mm-hmm.
think like no question she's one of the best female rappers that ever lived.
For
Maybe the
sure.
best, depending on who you talking about. She top three.
Listen, people be forgetting Nikki can spit.
Listen, like
Like,
Nicki top three, I don't care what nobody say, whether you
facts.
like her or not. She top three. But I think like what we forget is that when we're talking about like the difference in growth and evolution, Nicki really come from that era of like where girls weren't friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was coming out of that like Foxy Lil
Yep,
Kim
Foxy Lil.
era,
Yep.
and she was kind of like the next generation of that. The
Mm-hmm.
girlies wasn't friends back then.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you have like this next crop of girls in the Cardis and in the Megs and in the Lizzos, and they're
Yeah.
the total opposite of that
Yep.
because these girls understand that there is a lucrative nature to
Mm-hmm.
being friends. Collaboration is key, right?
Yeah.
Meg went on tour. She took Glorilla with her, which expands her audience and base. And now she's able to tour by herself by taking those fans. And now we can
Mm-hmm.
do songs together and create like number one hits amongst each other.
Mm-hmm.
Collaboration is key now. But
Absolutely.
I think it's easy to forget that like that era of music was not always so.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same with the dudes. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with the dudes, man. Like it's a little less obvious. I think because like it's less like specific faces in male
Mm.
music, right?
Yeah.
When I think about female rap, there are names that come to mind immediately. When I think about male rap, I don't even like really like outside of like our scene in this local area, I have a hard time really thinking of like kind of this new generation of niggas, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
When I think of female rap, it's easy to say like Meg, Cardi, Coy, like
Yeah.
Glow, like those things come to mind
Mm.
immediately. But when you think about like the male rappers in the game, I still think about like Hove and Nas and Drake and Ken and like
That's
I like who are these new niggas? I
because
don't.
they come in a dime a dozen now, and
Is
it's
that what
like
it
you
is?
yeah. So it's like it's a male dominated sport, always
Mm.
has been, and so now and yeah, and now you got the women that's coming in, and not that they haven't been dominating, but they're all dominating at the same time.
Mm.
So it's like
Collaboration.
exactly. So back then you had it was one woman at a time. From
Right. That's
Queen
true.
Latifah to MC Light, and then you got Lil Kim. Had her time, and Nicki had her time. But now you got all of these women, and they all at the top of the charts right now at the same time, and they working together,
Torn together.
touring together, the whole nine. The men, it's always been that way,
Mm.
and they ain't really, to be honest with you, it's like the music that they making ain't really, women run the world. I'm just gonna be real. Women rule the world. Women shifts the market. Y'all change the market. Y'all are what blows everything up. And so, with that being said, with the guys, all they talking about is drugs, violence, this and the third.
I
Like
think the songs for us are the ones that change your careers.
for
To be
sure,
honest, like the
for
when
sure.
niggas get into a couple songs for women, and don't get me wrong, like this is not always true, right? I'm not speaking in general, but I think every artist has a point in their careers. Every major artist, every artist that's dominated a space for a period of time, right? Because there's artists that are present in the space,
Yeah.
and then there are artists that dominate that space,
Mm-hmm.
like the Futures and the J. Coles and the Kendricks. And those artists changed their lives when they came out with a song for us.
Facts.
You need a song for women.
Got to.
You just need, because I'm making that man go to that concert with me.
Mm-hmm.
I make majority songs for women.
There it is. Boom.
Most of my songs.
And
that,
you know what I think
that was
it
my
is, too?
downfall.
Yeah.
That was my downfall.
You making
So
songs for
many
the
songs for women.
I didn't.
Oh,
And like people would try to, oh no, you need to make music for
which
women
is
that's
so
in the third.
shocking from you because you a lady man. Let me tell you something. He changed a lot, and I ain't gonna say what I used to be saying about this nigga to his face. Now I say it to his face. That's
For
why he
sure.
laughing because he know what the hell I'm talking about. And I ain't gonna say that. And he nigga married, got kids, and all that type. You know, he a different man. Praise God.
Hey,
But let me
know
tell
what
you
I'm
something.
saying?
He used to be a terror. You hear me? He was ripping and running these streets.
Nah,
So
for real.
this nigga
Cut
not
that.
making no songs for women was crazy.
And it was because people wanted that. It was like they expected it. You know, because here's the thing. Your perception is not my reality. And that's what I'm saying. That's my downfall, right? But my thought process at the time was you only want to see me this way because of how I look and how I entertain women. But this is who I am. So I'm gonna be who I am. I love women. That's whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like I looked at that as a means where it's like I ain't gotta talk to them because I can get that. Like that don't
relate to that though.
you see what I'm saying? So it's like I ain't gotta talk to them.
So the way I can relate to that is because when I kind of started making music, I was in the more boom bap sound space,
Mm-hmm.
and then along the lines, I got certain feedback from certain people who I trusted their opinions for like what I wanted to develop for my sound, and they made me not they didn't make me, but they inspired me to want to take a different path. And when I did, the immediate reaction of my fans and my followers was, "What the hell is this?" You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like a brand change all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I struggled for a long time, even trying to figure out what was going on. Like,
Right.
For sure.
you know what I mean? And eventually along the way, I figured all of that out as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And it all started to make sense. So yeah, I could definitely relate to like feel, and the main thing that I could relate from what you said was feeling like I want to do this. Like
Yeah.
fuck, can I curse on here? Like,
Of course.
fuck what y'all talking about.
Fuck
I
Right.
want to
yeah.
do this. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So but eventually I also started to realize that, you know, when it comes to business,
Mm-hmm.
you really always want to do what works first,
Facts.
and then you start worrying about
what you
What
want
you
to do
wanna
after.
do.
yeah. Once you figure out
Yeah.
the
You gotta figure out the formula first.
Yeah.
this is my favorite example, right? They say once you figure out the cheeseburger, then you can start thinking about the Big
condiments.
Mac.
Yeah.
Then you
Yeah.
can start thinking about the McRib. Then you can
Yeah.
start thinking, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for
For
sure. For
sure.
sure.
That's
That's
real.
my biggest downfall, bro.
And you know what it is too, and I'm gonna be 100% real. I feel like there's, and I could be wrong, right? But we talk a lot about emotional intelligence.
Mhm.
One of my favorite shows was Don's last show, and we talked a lot about that, about like the lack of emotional intelligence within our community, within our generations, right? And I think that plays into the music. I think that there's an air of maybe like masculinity that makes it feel like, are you less of a man if you create this kind of music, or
Mhm.
if you're like catering to this audience, right? Like, are you less of a real nigga for doing this because this ain't really what you want, this ain't really what you started. And I think like there are people who create music for women not because they really care about women. I think Drake's a great example. He doesn't seem like he likes women at all to me, to be
Facts.
honest. But and I'm that's real. Like
That's real.
like as a woman, I feel like there was a time when, because you got to think like, and I've talked about this before too, like people change as they grow throughout this industry, right?
Mhm.
This is not 2009. And who he started as, who he was 15 years ago is not who he is now.
Mhm.
And so like you have this like impression of a person based on who they were when they first got here, and that's not who they are anymore.
Right.
So I don't feel like this has always been true, but I definitely feel like now like he don't like us the way that he used to. Like there, like I listen to like that old Drake and I listen to this
Mhm.
shit now. I remember a time when Drake never said bitch in music.
Yeah.
And now I'm hearing it like every new joint.
Look at the difference in him though.
That's what I'm saying.
Like corny dude from Canada doing
Yeah, who
Degrassi.
finally like got
Now you're
all of
getting
his
attention.
wildest
Yeah,
dreams
so
and
now it's like
all of the
whatever.
women that he could never have before. And I get it. Like that could change anybody. That could change a woman. Like
Yeah.
listen, like I didn't seen a lot of y'all, right? You was different before you got that BBL and bought them titties. So like I get it. Like the lipo and the BBL, the titties and some lip fillers and a new hairstylist and a better makeup artist that made a lot of y'all switch. So I understand that. We all do that. I get it. But I think that there was just a space and time where like he made music for us. Like you heard a Drake song and it was like, damn, I wish I wrote that.
Yeah, facts.
And now it's
Facts.
just like, I don't know if this nigga like us
You
no more. And
just
maybe that's
chasing the
because
charts.
it didn't go the way he thought it was gonna go with these
Yeah.
women, right? These songs are not always like representative of reality for everyone.
Mhm.
But I do think like you have to be your most authentic self to make good music for women.
Mhm.
You really do. Like to really tap into the core of making great music that women are going to receive and not only just receive and download, but come out to a concert and hear.
Mhm.
Come out and physically support. You
Yeah.
got to really tap into your most authentic self because I think we can hear that.
Absolutely.
And so I think that that's an issue kind of throughout the industry, right? Is that like we're in a space in music, in content creation, in entertainment where people are like not really their most authentic selves anymore.
Mhm.
Like, do you feel like artists now are kind of like faking their authenticity?
They've been doing that, but
How
it's
long?
even more so now. Prime example, you got artists who were quote unquote gangster rap, and they music they wildin', but they kids in private school.
Jeezy.
You know what I mean, and so it's like it's been fake, but now it's heightened. It's heightened. You know, you got people again like Future who talk about lean and drugs and all of that, but then came out and said he ain't did lean in years.
Yes.
But got everybody else thinking it's still a thing to do.
That's what I want to hear.
Exactly. You know, it's like they found the blueprint of what works for them and they sticking to it, but it's not really who they are for real. Um, and that's the biggest thing I feel like people need to focus on. It's like music, it's the entertainment business. It's not real. A lot of these dudes be pretending. Like even the guy I told my son, my oldest son, 14, and we was having a conversation about the real drill rappers, like who really with it, who ain't on nothing. And I told him, I said, son, listen here. I said, everybody that's really about it, dead on jail. Straight up. I said the dudes is out here still making hundreds of millions of dollars off touring. Ain't about nothing.
Those
They
are the
got a bunch of
Tekashis of the world.
yeah. I'm like they got a
Those
bunch
are
of
the
dudes
Tekashis
around
of the
them
world.
that'll probably crash out, but they not crashing out. And I gave and I gave an example like King Von. I'm like he was about it,
Yeah, some niggas are idiots.
and he did. You know, I'm like that's just the reality. You know, Dirt looking at a Rico. You know what I mean? So it's like when you really involved in it, this would come with it. But when you're not, you can sell a million records talking about this stuff, and you ain't got to worry about the consequences because you're not doing it.
For sure.
Can I ask y'all a question on that?
Mm-hmm.
What does authentic sound like?
We'll start with the guys.
Okay. For me, it's when you can feel it. When you can feel it, like as a person who lived that life, I know who telling the truth and who lying.
Okay.
You know, stuff makes sense. It's like, all right, that don't add up. Like you ain't buy that for that. That's not real prices.
Let me ask you something else, right? The next person, right, that listens to music that hasn't lived that life, what do you think authentic sounds like to them?
And that's the hard part because they believe everything.
Exactly.
That's the danger.
Yeah, they believe it all.
So that is what also aids the business because they understand that at the end of the day, if you create the right character, the right archetype,
it don't matter. Absolutely.
For sure.
1000%.
100%. And I think music still gives me chills. Like the right music, good music still gives me chills, still gives me goosebumps. Like I still like feel certain things in my soul. I can tell. especially when it's music that was designed for me.
Mm.
So like I say this, like I had a lot of people get mad at me about this shit. First of all, fuck y'all. But I said like I never liked August Alsina's music. I always hated it because it always felt like he didn't like women. And then he came out of the closet. So I was fucking right. I don't even know why y'all was mad about me saying that shit. Like the nigga come to find out he didn't like women in that way. We're not talking about like we love the LGBTQ community here.
Yeah,
Okay,
y'all run her apology.
you owe me a fucking apology for that. Fuck y'all. Because like seriously speaking, we're not talking about like his involvement in that community. We're talking about a man who is delivering music centered around sex and intimacy with women. What does that sound like? Because there are the ushers of the world that can deliver music about sex and intimacy. Seduction was number one on the charts, people. There are artists who can still deliver this same message, but deliver it in a way that is respectful and sexy and makes sense to women and is classy. And then there are niggas who deliver this shit that is really just like shitting all over us. I need Future to come out that closet already too. I'm telling you like this, like that nigga's got to be bisexual. It's no way that Future only likes women. I don't believe that because the way you treat women, it's no way you love women. I don't believe that.
Listen,
you gotta start having a real conversation about niggas who treat women like shit. Maybe your soulmate is a man, and that's okay. If that's your path in this life, that's fine. Date that big nigga Rico and
hold on, wait a minute, wait.
Not you.
You gotta change his name.
Not you. Let's say Roscoe.
Yeah, Roscoe.
Go date Roscoe.
Yeah, go date
and
Roscoe.
Be happy. It's nothing wrong with what you like, but it's a lot of niggas whose soulmate is a man, and they treating women like shit to try to cover the fact that they don't really like women. You need to grow up.
Get it together.
I agree 1000%. And like this be even when you listen to women talk about their sexual experiences, right? Most of it is just a man using their body to masturbate.
I'm telling you,
because he don't like
that's
you.
real as hell.
He don't like you. You ain't had an orgasm because he don't like you.
I really feel like I've tried to have this conversation with a lot of different men in this life, and men really don't get it. Like, you can tell. This is how you know you're using a woman to masturbate. And who knew we were gonna go here today? But like, the way you can tell is if you have no concern about whether or not she was satisfied.
Absolutely.
If you don't know how to please that woman, if you haven't figured it out yet, if you're not interested in learning, if she's trying to tell you how to do that or to do it better or how to improve it, you get mad, you running off and that type of shit. That's how you know that you're just using her to masturbate.
Wait, here's my question. So what if you care about every woman's nut?
That's beautiful.
Then you love women, bro. Like, cause that's the thing. Like,
if you a hoe
you love women.
It's hoe ass niggas who love women. Like, we're not gonna sit here and say, listen, like shout out to my best friend. I ain't gonna say your name on here because he got a girlfriend now. But the truth is, there are men who are honest with women about the fact that they're doing what they're doing. At some point, we as women have to be responsible for the fact that he told you the truth. And I'm a woman, so I do understand the concept of like maybe in my younger years thinking that you could change him or thinking that he would grow or mature past things. But let me tell you something. That's fucking delusion talking to you. And I'm not a kid anymore, so I don't see it like that. You need to grow up. If that nigga's being honest with you, if he is respectful enough of you to be honest with you about exactly what he's on and exactly what this is going to be, believe him the first time. You're not going to change these niggas. Now, is it possible for men to change on their own because of something that happened within them, or because they had an experience with a specific woman that made them want to change or to grow or to be better? Absolutely. But we have to get out of this space of blaming men like they all ain't shit when half of them, more than half of them, told you the truth from the very beginning. And you so busy looking at like, well, what does it mean when he does this? It mean the same shit when he said it the first time. It mean he like fucking you and he think you cool and he's not an asshole.
Right.
But I think there are so many women who have come across so many bad men in their lives who have just lied to them and sold them dreams. And like, so they categorize all men that way.
Yeah.
But it's not true. There are men who are looking you dead in your eye, being honest with you and telling you exactly what it is. Now, do I think that there are certain kinds of women that can inspire men to change, that can inspire men to grow, to be a better version of themselves? Absolutely. But that has to already exist within him for that to occur.
Fact.
You're not just gonna walk into this man's life and make a man who has no intention of settling down, being serious, being faithful and monogamous and of good character for you and the life that you want to build, because like your pussy is so special. You need to grow up.
Facts.
Pussy is everywhere and it's fucking free. Maybe $40 now, the way some of this shit going. But at the end of the day, like, it's still mostly free. And like, if men are being honest with you from the gate about what they do or do not want, you need to listen to that and stop entering into these emotionally damaging situations with people who are being honest with you about the fact that they not on what you on. I think we have a problem with that. A lot of women are like, because I had this conversation this week, man. Shout out to Stamp Mob Capo for this. We had a conversation because next week we are going to have finally a Girl Talk episode.
That's dope.
So up to this point, I have specifically, right, and done intentionally not had women on this show because I do believe in our men. And I do think it's important to build Black men up and to provide a safe space for you guys. But there are things on the other side of the conversation that need to be said.
For sure.
Because I love Black men. I am in a relationship with a Black man who I love. He get on my fucking nerves a lot of the time, but I still love him. And so, like, I believe in you guys, and I never want to get on this platform and use it to beat you guys up, to beat you guys down, or to make life harder than it already is in the spaces that you're in. That's never my MO. And I think it's important to do that consistently before we start having some maybe more honest conversation. Because I think that the truth is that men are very sensitive.
1000%. We're more sensitive than y'all.
Yeah, that's the reason why niggas crash out the way that they do.
Facts.
Because of their sensitivity.
Yeah. We haven't learned how to regulate them.
Yeah, you got to learn how to regulate your emotions, which we're going to talk about next week too. But I think like men are very sensitive. And as a result of some of those sensitivities, which I think women, including myself sometimes, can forget or like maybe not take it seriously. Right? Or not have or be emotionally in tune enough to say that like this behavior may not be because he doesn't care. It just may be because like he's afraid of like what his response to this will be, or being too open or being too vulnerable, or like how it could make a man react. Like I have had men like start talking about something and break down and cry in my arms. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there are men who are just not strong enough to do that, are afraid to do that. It takes a lot of strength to cry in front of your woman. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of these niggas is crying tears while they still fucking you and your friend and the girls in the quiet church and the girls that be coming to the show. Like, is some people like are emotionally manipulative.
Yeah, for sure.
There are people like that out there. This conversation that we're having is not to excuse men who are not being honest with you, or to excuse men who are not telling you the truth, or excuse men who are emotionally abusing you by making you think that this situation is something that it is not, just so that they can keep you near, because they know that if they told you the truth, they wouldn't have you. We're not excusing any of them niggas. Fuck them niggas. Because what the fuck year is this? You need to go to fucking therapy if that's still how you moving. It's disgusting. And also says a lot about how you feel about how you maneuvering down there. It really does. I know a lot of men in this life who dealt with a lot of women, not even necessarily because they wanted to, but because they were insecure about their performance issues, and that made them feel better. If I can get a lot of girls, then that means it's really nothing wrong with me.
But you getting a lot of them and you doing them all like you ain't pleasing nothing.
You ain't pleasing none of them. How many repeats have you had? That's really the question a lot of men need to start asking themselves. It's not about how many women you slept with. It's about how many repeats you had. On the other end of that, right? Because you have men who are serial monogamous. Who jump in and out of relationships all the time, are terrified of being alone, perhaps because they don't like themselves as much as they should, don't love themselves the way that they need to, are afraid of what it would mean to face themselves if they had to be by themselves, are afraid that if they don't jump into that next relationship, that maybe amount of time goes by and they start to realize like, damn, women don't want me like I thought they did. There's lots of different reasons around that. But like, it's niggas who are like serial monogamous, but like, how long have you kept those women? What did those, like, you're a serial monogamous, you're always in a relationship, but what do the relationships really look like?
What's the quality of it?
What's the quality of it?
Yeah, for sure.
Are any of those women faithful to you?
Facts.
Or are you a serial monogamous and every girlfriend you ever had has cheated on you? You know that says, you know, the only common denominator in that situation is you.
Facts.
If you've been in 8 relationships and
Mm.
7 of them have been unfaithful.
Yeah.
And you're in a relationship now and you don't treat that bitch right.
Right.
What does that say about you?
That's real.
If you a nigga who sleep around and you ain't had a repeat in years, what does that say about you?
Listen, I
You gotta get it together.
I used to
Tighten
tell
up, young blood.
I used to tell my men all the time, you know, because
How you
again,
pack?
dudes talk about all of that, you know. What I'm saying, I smashed this, I smashed that one. I'm like, the true sign if you laid it down is I say try to call her at 3 a.m. and see if you can come over. If she
That will
let you
tell
pull
you.
up, you cool.
Cause
If she don't answer,
uh-huh.
or she cuss you out, you ain't do nothing. If you do your thing, you got access whenever you want it.
This is true.
Cause she knows what she getting
Until
when
she
you
getting
pull up.
something more serious.
Exactly. But even with that, sometimes you still might be able to do your thing.
I can't relate to none of that.
You know, I'm just saying.
Married woman over here.
Hey, huh? Bling
Not
blow.
gonna
Yeah,
lie,
me.
I
That's
envy
what.
that though. I always like I admire like the idea of marriage. I don't know if it's for me, but I love marriage and I love
That's
the
dope.
How long you been married, Don?
3 years.
Congratulations.
Appreciate you.
I
Appreciate
think
it.
like
It's work.
oh
It's
God.
good. It's a
Oh
blessing, but
God.
it's work.
Let me tell you
Well,
something.
it's
Me and my boyfriend beefing right now. So
yeah,
here it is. I just said it. But it's work.
yeah.
Like we have 5.5, 6 years, going on 6 years, and it's hard. Like relationships are really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 completely different personalities,
Right.
2 completely different views of the world. And I think people forget that like you're growing and changing
Mhm.
and evolving in the
Mhm.
midst of this situation,
Mhm.
right? There are only 2 paths that you can take. You can grow together, you can grow apart. It
Facts.
ain't gonna be nothing else.
Exactly.
Right? Or you can grow and evolve and they don't grow at all.
Facts.
So like it's only gonna go like 1 or 3 ways.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult. And especially when you have like years invested in a
Mhm.
thing, it's not as simple as just walking away.
Facts.
Because like you want to see that through.
Facts.
And also because like being in a
That
relationship,
sounds like such a gift though.
it is like I think my favorite part of my relationship is the routine.
Mhm.
I don't like you've been together with somebody for years and you stop seeking out like I think when you're dating, right?
Mhm.
Dating was always fun for me because like it's fun just like going out and somebody else paying for this
Yeah.
and having a good time. Never did that. Don't agree with that. Tell
Yeah,
RoboCop
cause
tell RoboCop to take her ass outside and
but
explore the
it's
perimeter.
not even
I'm
like
not with that
that.
shit. Taking your
Yeah.
friend on a date. Leave if you're gonna take your friend on a date, she need to stay in the car, not be sitting at the table ordering a drink, like and expecting this nigga to pay for it. You bitches need to stop that.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah,
I
that's crazy.
really like
Oh no, I meant
Like having your
girlfriend. Or
oh
your partner.
yeah, like yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Like
But
I
even that
enjoy his
changes.
company. That changes
That
too.
goes up and down, bro.
I
Like
would be terrified.
with
of that.
no, but
It
here's the thing.
depends
No,
on if you beefing or not.
here's the thing. So marriage is you choosing each other no matter what.
Every single
Right?
day.
So you fall in and out of love all the time.
Yeah.
There's some days you wake up, you're like, I hate you.
I can't fucking stand
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's some days you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be like, why are you still here? Like there'll be days you wake up and you're like, I don't even want to do this no more. But there'll also be days you was like, you know, I don't want to do this with nobody else. Or, you know, even though you did this and this made me feel this way, or I did that and it made you feel this way, you still choose me, I still choose you. We're gonna make it work. That's really what marriage is. It's 2 people that come together and say, no matter what, I'm gonna choose you. That's all it is. Because they go up and down.
People forget, like, and I think people like we've gotten to this space of like Love Island and shit. I was watching the
Yes.
shit out of it. Yes.
I ain't never seen it, but I heard about
Child,
I couldn't do like 15
Love
seconds.
Island.
it. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Love it.
I never
But I'm gonna
watched.
tell you what, I read something this week where Love Island was basically saying that they were going to change like the entire format of choosing cast because this has probably been the worst season of Love Island ever.
Oh, so this is not the first season?
This is not the first season. First season that I've watched.
Mhm.
But I went back and watched like the previous one, which is
Mhm.
allegedly like the last one was the best one or something.
Okay.
So I started watching that one too, just for context.
I'm at the top end.
And so
Never seen it.
in watching it, I was like, I really feel like Love Island is a microcosm for the problems that exist within our relationships on all kinds of levels, right? When you look at like Black men dating non-Black women, right? There's a dynamic concern in that and how people see
Mhm.
that and like how people approach it. The problem that it creates within like circles of women.
Mhm.
Yeah, the taboo of it all. There is the concept of colorism, right? He'd
Mhm.
rather have this little light skin joint. Shout out to you, Taylor. Fuck nigga. He would rather have a light skinned girl than date this dark skinned girl. He finds this light skinned woman to be more attractive than this dark skinned woman. I don't care what nobody say about Love Island. For Taylor, that's what it boiled down
I was
to.
about to say, is
He
that
had this
colorism or is that
bad dark
preference?
skinned joint. I mean, to me, she was probably the baddest joint on the show. But
Mm.
his preference was that light skinned girl. He didn't.
Mm.
She wasn't. I ain't gonna lie. Like I tell y'all off camera what she really looked like. But Shorty jaw was strong as a motherfucker. Like to me, she wasn't pretty at all. And don't get me wrong. Like she didn't seem like a bad person or anything. And that doesn't mean that she wasn't a better fit for him. But when we're just talking about general attraction, colorism is a big issue. I think culturally for us. So
Mm.
you're dealing with that. You're dealing with like the concept of like what does it mean to rush into sex too soon, right? Because you're doing this like challenge of like really trying to find love, really trying to find partnership on a very, very thin scale.
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't gonna get but so much time to do this before the show is over, right? So you maybe have like a couple of months to fall in love with someone, right? And then you're getting multiple options to do that because they have the original cast members. You're building with them as those relationships like rise and fall. They bring in bombshells, so you could choose to stay where you at and build, or you could choose to see what's up with this new junk. The other thing you got to deal with,
breaks trust,
which is divisive, breaks trust, and also there's a fan element to voting on this show. Women
For
don't like
real?
it. It's a lot of people that have gotten eliminated from this show because like they picked a bombshell. And the fans was like, nah,
Oh,
fuck
so
that
the
nigga.
fans vote people off the
Fans vote
show?
people off sometimes.
Wow,
Oh,
so
man.
they can make the dynamic.
That's
The
crazy.
votes are dynamic.
I'm not gonna lie, I love that aspect. They should never change.
Watch Love Island. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
I'm gonna have to tap
Listen,
in.
love it. Big fan. My boyfriend doesn't like it, but like
I'm gonna have
whatever.
to watch.
But like I'm telling you, like he only watched like 20 minutes at a time before he go upstairs and get on Call of Duty. So that's not. But but truly, like there are a lot of different dynamics to that. And some of it is like fan voting, which is very important. So if you the perfect example is this couple Taylor and Alondria, right? Taylor is light skinned country boy. Alondria is this dark skinned queen from Alabama. They're in this relationship, and it's like, I don't really know if he really feeling her like she feeling him. Some of it is like, is this because we're trying to take our time? Is this because we're trying to get to know one another? Is this because we're really trying to build something legitimate, or is the attraction not quite there? Right? There's this like balance that you have to maintain because there are girls who sleep with a dude night 2, night 3, and have great relationships. It's not a determining factor for them.
I have a theory on that.
I would love to hear it. I'd love to hear it.
My theory is that I think love kind of boils down to fear of loss.
Okay.
And and I'll put it this way, right? And I'll use the example because I discovered it based off of a relationship that I had with someone.
Okay.
And when I was dating this person, I think I realized that, oh, so she was telling me that she was going to a party and something in me felt like, I haven't established anything like, that says, oh,
don't talk to nobody while you're there.
Exactly. And my fear was, if I don't do this now, what if she goes there and meets somebody else?
Facts.
My fear of losing my chance with her is what drove me to, you know what? Okay, I think I need to make this serious. So I started thinking more on that, and I started feeling like, you know what? That might be what even keeps relationships together as well, because it's like, if I lose my person, what's the chances that I'm gonna meet someone else just as wonderful, just as pretty, or whatever the combinations that make someone that you like? What are the chances that you're gonna meet someone just like that again?
I think that's a very
People are
human
one in a
reaction.
million.
I think that's a very human reaction. Also, something that gets dealt with on that show.
Oh wow!
I think there's a very consistent theme across that show. It happened with Sierra. It happened with Huda. It happened with Iris. It happened with everybody except the black girls, frankly. Where when a bombshell comes in and there's a little bit of unsureness, all of a sudden she giving up that coochie. That happened very consistently throughout that show. Every time that a girl, like a new girl came in, or there was some kind of opportunity, it felt like their position was threatened. And now all of a sudden she's sleeping with that dude. And I felt like every dude that got some on that show, he got, and maybe there's like one or two exceptions,
That
right?
actually had game.
Because there are couples on there who like they left that show, got put off of that show, and they're together now.
Oh,
So
wow.
like there's a lot of different dynamics in play. But I feel like there were very specific instances on that show where like a woman was threatened by another woman's presence, and now that night is when she giving it up. In an effort to, I feel like, secure that situation.
Exactly.
I think that is a foolish way to do things.
Absolutely, because it doesn't secure anything.
Pussy has never ever kept a man.
It's just
This
insecurity.
was like 9 years ago, but
It's just built,
Yeah, like
built
that is never
right.
gonna. I don't care
nah,
who
you-
told you that. Like, listen, like don't listen to Bernice Burgos and these hookers who's 50 and still ain't married. Like, that's not how that works. If you don't have something to offer him beyond that, like, because the reality is, I am somebody with a significant amount of male friends, most of whom were wild men at one point in their lives, whether they've grown or changed up to this point or not. And I think what I've learned in those friendships across the board is like when you sleep with a lot of women, yeah, there are some outliers, but generally speaking, pussy's pussy.
Absolutely.
And like it doesn't impress him past a certain point. And like, yeah, it should be good. But there are men who like, I remember I saw this on TikTok the other day. A girl was asking her boyfriend, like, why do you love me? Right? She asked him, why do you love me? And he was like, you don't want to know the answer to that. Right? And she was like, no, I really do. They're going back and forth for 2 or 3 minutes. And he was like, I know I love you because your pussy is trash. And I still would not see myself with anybody else but you.
Oh, that's
how
crazy.
he knew. So like that, that is not going to like keep him. It probably is something that is a factor.
Ain't that much love. Ain't that much love in the world for me.
I feel that. I feel that. I think it's less of a factor for women. I think women truly like, and I could be wrong, ladies. If I am, let me know in the comments. But I think you could be in a relationship with somebody with trash dick. I really do. Like, I think it's less of a factor for women.
That's because y'all used to trash.
That's probably
not for real.
A lot of trash dick in this life.
So many
That's
dudes
facts.
don't care about how y'all get off.
So. It's so many niggas using you to masturbate.
Yeah.
It's niggas. It's niggas with no concern of like how you
fellas, y'all gotta do better.
Arrive in that bedroom. There are men who just do not care about your satisfaction, or are too insecure to ask you about your satisfaction. Because I wouldn't say that it's always that men don't care. I don't think that that's true, but I certainly think that there are men who are too insecure to have the real conversation.
Absolutely.
Which I think is another problem. If you're not ready to have an honest conversation about like what the sex looks like, how we can fix it, how we can make it better, how we can improve it, I don't know what the fuck we're doing here.
No, for real.
That's a dangerous place to be, though, to be a man who is like so terrified that he might not be getting it done, that he don't want to ask and stops being concerned about it. Because like, just like there's always some coochie around the corner, there's always some dick around the corner
for
too.
Sure.
And I think most women who are decent looking, maybe even if they not, ass and titties get you a long way.
Exactly.
It's some monsters out here with a lot of calls, getting a lot of calls on a Saturday evening. Like, I think that like there's always some guy from your past, or like some guy you used to date, or some guy on Instagram, or some guy you meet at a grocery. There's always an option for a woman.
Facts.
Like, and it doesn't matter like how old you are. Like, it's 50-year-old niggas out here that to them 30 is young, and 60-year-olds that think to them 40 is young. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
There's always opportunity, right? Or some young nigga who looking for his experience with an older woman, or somebody right at your age who just got divorced or just got out of a relationship, like, and they really like are looking for like a real connection, and here your girl is chopping them up in the grocery store.
They
like,
there
men will, I'm telling you, like, there are men who are easily impressed as well. Like, listen, like, I know a lot of y'all think y'all special because you could make some chicken Alfredo and some chicken wings, but like it's a lot of bitches doing that. Like, it's a like, I feel like I could say it now because it doesn't really matter. I'm in something. Cooking was like my best trick. But I would make something like, no, we're not doing no that. I do make a great Alfredo. I'll say that. I think that's like my boyfriend's favorite. But like, I could roast a duck. Like,
Oh, that's
Okay.
I
fine.
like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I would like my
Yeah.
first initial dish was always like scallops because it takes like such precision
Okay.
to keep it from being
Mm,
rubbery, or
yeah.
like a roast duck. That was
Okay.
always my trick, like with a nigga. Like,
Yeah.
shout out to all the niggas that got to experience that.
My,
But like that was cooking was like my trick,
yeah.
right? Because you ain't getting no coochie tonight. Like
Yeah.
that's dangerous. Like
Nah, it
niggas
is.
is 1 in 10 with
Like,
AIDS and HIV out here. Like this
for
not
sure.
happening until I'm 100% comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think Love Island is really to me like like the absolute proof of like what I've always thought,
Right.
which is that this is not going to keep him.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if he like you and you do it maybe a little faster than you were comfortable with, but the feels were the feels, it
Mm-hmm.
also won't scare him away if he was there
Yeah,
for
for
legit
sure.
reasons.
I would say this too for women. Whenever you thinking about giving it up to a guy, wait. Don't bless you.
Bless you.
Don't do it
Bless
until,
you.
because sex can be great if he learns you, right? You don't even have to have a
Right.
conversation about the type of
You
sex you
don't.
like if he's learning you. You learn somebody through spending time with him. You touching, you kissing, you do everything but the act.
You see what they like.
See, exactly. Try a little different stuff to watch her tick. You know what I mean? Like, fellas, like, you gotta pay attention to sounds, pay attention to body language. If you on the left side of the neck and she give you a little, you know what I mean, little but then you hit that right and that thing it's like, yeah, you know the right where it's at. You know, if and then also stop just assuming it's the neck too, fellas. Like, a lot of women like their back touched. Kiss their back, trace the spine, bro. Like, you know, learn your woman, learn the woman that you're pursuing, right? Like, you shouldn't even have to ask certain questions like, what's your favorite color? If you pay attention to your woman enough, you'll know what her favorite color is, whether y'all together, not just in that courting phase. You'll know what the favorite color is. You'll learn what the favorite food is. You'll learn these things because you're paying attention,
But you know
which
what?
ultimately is gonna make her open up to you even more. So the sex is gonna be that much greater because now she's open.
Also, like if you are with a man and he doesn't know any of those things about you, for me that's a red flag.
That's a
I'm
problem.
concerned.
He don't care.
Like there are men who have been with women for years and still don't know how to sexually satisfy them. There are men who like have been with women for years and couldn't tell you what she liked to eat,
Yeah.
or where she likes
Yeah.
to go, or like what she likes to do, or like what her favorite flowers are, or
Yeah.
like what are the things that are gonna make her be like, nah, she gonna really fuck with this.
Yeah.
Like that should be a concern. Like you that should make you bothered.
Yeah.
Like
For sure.
honestly, like you should know how to lift your partner on a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
And like we have to get out of this point of ego in our relationships, no matter what level they are, where like you're more concerned about being right than you are about like repairing partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like honestly, that's why a lot of people remain single or can't keep a partner, or
Mm-hmm.
can't keep a partner who will remain faithful to them, or can't keep a partner like satisfied, and like you wondering like, damn, every girl I ever been with cheated on me. Like, what happened? Like it's because you're more concerned about yourself than you
Mm-hmm.
are about the partner, and she's seeking somebody who is
Care
concerned
about her
about what she
needs.
really wants. And if
Facts.
you're not going to give it to her, there's always another guy who will.
Wanting to.
And you like that's like you being in a relationship with a man and like y'all ain't never having sex, you ain't never
Yeah, well, you
that's
not
crazy.
no
Like
funny, like, and I ain't gonna say his name, but one of my men was dealing with this for a little minute. He was with his woman for, I want to say, like 10 some odd years, and for the last 2 years he ain't getting none.
none.
And I asked him, I ain't gonna lie to you, like, this was before my walk and all of that, you know. So
That was old Don.
I said, bro, you ain't spanked nothing. Like, I said, 2 years is crazy. I said, she getting it. Like, you a fool
sure.
if you think she not. Because I'm like, you should know her.
2
You
years
know her
still in a
sex drive.
relationship with
Like,
him?
you know her
Yeah,
sex
she's
drive,
sleeping
bro.
with somebody else.
I'm like, so she getting it, you ain't getting it. So you the dummy.
Typically speaking, if
That's
you're not
crazy.
sleeping with your woman, I would say like there are ebbs and flows. You know that.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
So like there's this like myth that like you get in a relationship and you're supposed to be getting it every day.
Yeah.
Unrealistic.
In house is harder to get than out house. I
Yeah,
ain't
for
gonna,
sure. Like
boys.
because the reality is like you tired. There's like real shit going on in women's bodies that like impact whether or not you want to.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not even that deep, right? Sometimes it has nothing to do with your cycle and all that kind of stuff. Because like some niggas don't care and they hit regardless. No judgment here. This is a no judgment space. But like some of it is just like you going through stuff in your life and you don't feel quite like yourself, or you don't
Mm-hmm.
feel as pretty as you used to, or like you're like questioning you, or there are things going on at your job that have you
Mm-hmm.
stressed out. It's not always like, I think that to me is really like the test of like kind of where you are in your
Mm-hmm.
relationship. Are you able to like comfort and support your partner, male or female,
Mm-hmm.
when they're going through something and you're not getting what you want out of the situation?
Absolutely.
And that really is what makes and breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Business.
can you like continue to be a supportive partner when you're not getting what you want out of it? And I think
Mm-hmm.
for me, like that's always been like the breaking point in my previous relationships is
Mm-hmm.
like, who is this person when they not getting everything that they want from me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, and I think like there have been some that like they let me down.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't get what they wanted out of it, and then something else came along and they
Yeah.
thought like, oh, I'm getting everything. But you know what, the reality is, like, me personally, I never worry. I feel like a nigga gonna get his karma every time because I
Yeah.
am special,
Mm-hmm.
and because I am one of God's favorites, and
Come
God
on.
proves himself to me all the time.
Come
And I
on.
tell people this, my friends know this, and you don't get away with nothing in this life.
Mm-hmm.
Everything done in the dark, it has to come to light. It has to. You got to reap everything that you sow in this life. You
Mm-hmm.
don't get away with anything. The way that you treat people matters. But in
Mm-hmm.
particular, it matters when you don't need a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very easy to be good to people when you need something from them,
Absolutely.
right? It's easy
Absolutely.
to be good to that girl when you ain't got no whip and you need her car.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to be good to that man when you ain't working and you ain't got no money.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to be good to that friend when you need something out of that situation. The
Absolutely.
way that you behave, the way that you care about somebody, the way you show up for somebody, whether that's your friends, whether that's your wife, whether that's your husband, the way you show up for people when you don't need anything from them other
Mm-hmm.
than like that partnership,
Mm-hmm.
whatever level that partnership falls on, I
Yeah.
think it says a lot about people's character.
Yeah.
And the truth is, like, male or female, there are a lot of people in this world that just don't have any character. If they
Absolutely.
can't use people, if people are not convenient to and for them, then they have no interest in being around.
Mm-hmm.
They have no interest, or they'll be around because eventually they might need something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't need it today,
Just in
but I
case
might
people.
need something next month.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that this fucking gullible motherfucker gonna give it to me. It's a
Yeah.
lot of people who think about human
Mm-hmm.
beings like that,
Yep.
which I think is a dangerous way to live your life, because God loves his people.
Come on.
That
Come on.
me personally, like, if somebody doing me dirt, I never worry about it, because I
Mm-hmm.
ain't never seen a nigga do me dirty and not get his in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Yeah.
And I always seem to
Sure.
come out on top.
Yeah.
Now here you
For
are down
sure.
here struggling and suffering. Shit, I done got a promotion in this time.
I'm telling you.
Shit, the
I'm
equity on
telling
my
you.
house done grown.
Yeah.
Shit, my business doing a little better.
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple more dollars. Like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, I met this new one. Like, he got
Yeah.
something to it. Like, damn, my friendships are, and it don't even be that. Like, damn, I wasn't focusing on this person, and so my friendships are a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Me and my people connecting a little bit
Yeah.
better. Like,
My
oh, I
trust and
wasn't
faith in
focusing on
God
this
done
person,
grew.
so like now I'm a little more focused on my passion. Shit, I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting more done. I'm getting
Facts.
more done at my job. I'm getting more done with my ambitions. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you never have to worry. God got you.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe in that. You do not have to worry in this life. If you faithful, if
Come
you
on.
faithful, I'm
Come
telling
on.
you. And it don't take but this much faith, size of a
That's a
mustard
mustard
seed.
seed.
It don't take much.
You can move
Don't
mountains.
let these churches of the past, these ministries of the past, fool you into thinking that because you made mistakes in your past that God don't love you right here and right now.
He like you
He
always.
does.
Absolutely.
Always and forever. And it don't take but faith the size of a mustard seed for
And
him to
you
show
can
up and
move
show out every
mountains.
single time.
You
You
can
do
move
not have to
mountains.
prove yourself to God. To me, that's the greatest lesson that I've ever learned.
Amen.
I think you enter into like these religious structures and systems, and you start feeling like you got to tick off all of the right things that you're doing,
Yeah.
or like
And that's
feel
dangerous.
bad about all of the mistakes that you making, and like you can never ever recover from that. Like, no, like God, that's not how God works. God love you
Absolutely.
regardless. Now God
Absolutely.
also loves holiness. And
Absolutely.
so, that's a conversation we ain't gonna get into today, but you do need to be living right, or
Absolutely.
making your best effort to try to live right. That
Not
doesn't
perfect,
mean
but
that you need to
faithful.
be perfect. Not perfect,
Yeah,
but
but
faithful.
faithful.
And honestly, that same principle of not perfect but faithful is the same principle you should be carrying into your relationships with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody should expect perfection from you. We human beings, and we all fucking up. Nobody know that better than me. I be
Mm-hmm.
fucking up. That's for sure. Listen to me.
Yeah.
Cuss like a sailor. All right. It's my favorite thing to do. All right. I be fucking up. I'm the first one to admit that. But I love God, I love myself, and I love the people that I keep around me. And I try to treat people in a way that they know that I care about them.
Mm-hmm.
Even, and honestly, if you know me, you know if I don't fuck with you a little bit, I probably don't really like you. I'm the nicest to people I can't stand. That's dangerous territory.
Facts.
Frankly.
Facts.
Nobody know that better than Rico.
Facts. You ain't never been nice to me.
I'm trying to tell you. But Rico know I love
But I
him.
know we locked in.
Yeah.
You know,
You know I love him. Like, I'm telling you, like, if I don't talk a little shit, I probably don't fuck with you. Like,
Facts.
And I certainly ain't gonna ask you to come and sit in this seat more than once.
Facts.
It's some of you niggas that will never come up here again. I can't stand you. I appreciate you though. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate your gift. And I appreciate the effort that you're putting into your passion. I say that all the time. I don't always gotta like a motherfucker or fuck with somebody.
Yeah,
like to bring them up here to be interested in your passion or what you have to say or what your story and journey is. Never. Like, I'm interested in everybody's story or journey. But if I get you in this seat and I don't particularly care for it, I probably ain't gonna invite you back. And that's just life.
That's real.
It's some people that probably sat in this seat was like, I didn't like her. Like, I was fine. I don't give a fuck. Like, that's honestly also a big important component in your life as well. It's like get into a space where you don't give a fuck about how people think about you. The only person you need to be worried about how they see you is God and the people you invite into your life. I don't worry about the opinions of anybody that I don't want to be like or be next to. These are facts with me.
Amen.
If I don't want to be like you or be next to you, what you think about me is not of any concern. It's none of my business.
Come on.
Lions don't quiver at the opinions of sheep.
Those are facts. I could care less. Not because like I'm not concerned about who I am as a person, but because your perspective of who I am as a person is too light to even really matter. You don't know me well enough to have a perspective on me that would matter to me.
Amen. Exactly. Amen.
And I think like mistakes and all, because we all making those and we're all figuring it out and getting ourselves together, and we all have low points in this life or points where like, man, I ain't proud of how I handled that. I ain't proud of who I was that particular day. But I feel like every day on earth is another opportunity to get it right. It's another opportunity to try a little bit harder, to aim to be your best self, to push a little bit harder in your passion or your journey or adventure. It's to try harder to be a better husband. It's to try harder to be a better artist. It's to try harder to be a better friend. Every day above ground is a good day, baby.
Amen.
So never trip like when shit don't go exactly like it was supposed to, or when you make a mistake. Like, none of that matters. Like, yesterday is gone. Ain't nothing you could do about it. All you could do is press toward the mark of the high calling. If you can get this shit right today, right now, then what you did this morning is irrelevant. If you wake up tomorrow and you like, damn, I ain't get that shit right on Saturday. Okay, well, it's Sunday now.
Yep. Can't do nothing about it.
Can't do nothing about it. All you could do is strive to be the best version of yourself in this moment. But part of being the best version of yourself is being cognizant of who you keep around you.
Man, listen.
Being cognizant of how you spend your time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your passion. You don't have as many years as you think you do. I tell my nephew this all the time because my nephew he'll be 25, August 26th. And I tell him all the time, like, you 25 now, and I know it feels so young. It feels like you got the whole world ahead of you, and you do. But 30 gonna be here like that.
As soon as you
35 gonna get hit even faster. I'm telling you, like, don't get out here and waste your time. And that's with anything. And I say that because it's important with regard to like the relationships that you carry on. Don't let nobody waste your time. You're not getting what you need and want out of that situation, and you don't feel like you can talk to that person and express that, communicate, so that y'all can try to grow, try to evolve, try to do it better, try to do it right. Now, I do think you got to give people an opportunity to get it right.
For sure.
I do.
You got to give grace.
You got to give grace.
You got to give
if
people
you
grace.
say you care about these people, you say these people are important to you, then I think like getting up, walking away is just childish to me.
Yeah.
You don't owe nobody nothing, but if you already invested your time and energy to a person, you owe it to yourself to have an honest conversation to see if this thing can be fixed, to see if it can be rectified. Because if there's an opportunity for you to grow and evolve it, then you didn't waste your time. You invested.
Yep.
So I do think you owe yourself that, even if you don't feel like you owe that person nothing. But don't be waiting 5 and 10 and 20 years, letting a motherfucker waste all your good time, all your good energy, waste all your money, waste all your, like, I'm telling you, like, don't let people like come in and play you. Because people will. And that's not just the people that you carry your relationship with. I think it's important because I think the nature of the relationships in your life have so much to do with like how your life grows. And I think having the wrong people around you affects your business. I think the wrong people around you affects your passions. If you got the wrong people around you and they telling you you should quit, you should leave it alone, you done, it's over with. Now you missing out on your purpose under God because you listening to these ignorant assholes that's sitting next to you that didn't know what your purpose was, and you missing out on what you should be doing because you listening to them.
Absolutely.
Same thing in a relationship. You listening to your man who's still single, or you listening to your men that's in a relationship they didn't want to be in, something that they trapped in. This nigga got 3-4 kids by 3-4 women. Ain't happy with none of them.
Facts.
And he out here still rolling around in these streets telling you what you should be doing with your girl.
Facts.
How would
and
he
you
know?
listening? Facts.
And you listening.
Facts.
Do this niggas
Facts.
so often, like before, and
Math, not math.
the math
I'm
don't be
telling you.
mathing. And I'm telling you this, like, there were friendships that I had in the past, and I would have to sit down and ask myself, like, in listening to this person's advice, would I want to be them?
Right. Facts.
Would I trade places with this nigga?
Facts.
Real talk. You don't ever take advice from people you wouldn't trade places
I'm
with.
trying
What
to
the
tell
fuck
you.
do they know? That's real. If you wouldn't trade places with that nigga, don't listen to that advice. And that's not to say that everybody doesn't have something valuable that they give you, but we gotta learn how to take the meat and leave the bone. You gotta learn how to take the most valuable parts of a conversation, things that maybe God is trying to tell you, to parse that out, pull it out, take it, apply it, and move forward. But you don't be letting people dictate your life, and you wouldn't trade places with them.
I'm telling you.
Girl, I don't want to be you.
I'm telling you.
Shout out to you and them 5 kids. I love you, boo. Like, congratulations on that beautiful gift from God, but I would not want to be you. So I'm not taking your advice on how I should handle things with my man.
Facts.
I mean, that adage about like listening to your single friends, like, it be true sometimes.
No,
it
that's
don't always
real.
be true, but it be true sometimes.
No, real.
But that applies to men too.
1000%.
I think men forget that though.
Yeah, cause
You listening to your miserable fat single friend too.
Nah, for real. Like when you grow in life, you just gotta change your surroundings. Period. Like that's just real. Like I'm like me as a minister now, right? And it's not to say that I don't still got love for my peoples. Them still my peoples, but it's like I don't live in that house no more. So there are things that you are into that's gonna cause me to slip. So I can't hang with you like I used to hang with you. I love you, but I'm gonna love you from over here. I need to be around these people. I need to be around this group of people, right? You got to know who you labor amongst. You know what I mean? So I'm always with my God fearing brethren. You know what I mean? I'm around, yeah, because it's like we go through things, right? And it's like as having to be a good witness because I'm a minister, right? My covenant brothers know things that I go through that I would never share with somebody that don't walk that does not walk in my walk. Because I still have to present to them that everything's okay. Right. But to my covenant brother, I can go to my covenant brother like, yo, hey, bro, I'm struggling. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I need you to help me pick me up. And I do the same for you.
And also what it comes down to is wise counsel.
Absolutely.
That's another thing that we don't
and that's scripture too.
Niggas be like getting advice or telling a business to niggas that don't have the wisdom to be able to help you work through it. He doesn't have the wisdom or the know-how or the life experience or like even the desire to be the best version of himself. Why would you be talking to this person about what you have going on when this person who doesn't personally have a desire to be the best version of themselves all the time is giving you advice? So that means that that advice is fueled by a perspective that doesn't desire for you to be the best. They don't even want that for themselves.
Facts.
You gotta be careful with who you taking advice from. You gotta be careful with who, and it's not even always taking advice. Sometimes you just gotta be careful who you confide in. Everybody doesn't have best interest. Like I have met men that confide in certain men in their life, and it's like, nah, he just wants you back in them clubs with him.
For sure.
He wants you back single like him. He want the gang back and all of that.
Because he can't get what you got.
Because he can't get what you got. He been miserable in this semi-relationship, situationship, or whatever it is he got going on over there for years. And deep down in his heart, like, he either want what you have and is envious of the fact that he can't have it, or like he want his boy back.
Facts. And most of the times he just want what you got.
For sure. Like,
so he can't have it, you can't have it.
No bull.
And that's dangerous.
That's real. Like,
that's dangerous.
Esco, you ever feel like it's possible that people's biggest doubters, biggest haters be like the people right next to them?
Man, most of the time.
People?
Yes, for sure. But a lot of times I don't even feel that it's necessarily that they be hating. I think it's more so that a lot of times people can't see you outside of what they've seen you as before. So when they grew up knowing you a certain way, and you wake up one day and you start saying, "Hey, everybody, my name is Esco. I get on stage and I make songs and I do this and I do that." They're like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You were in class picking your nose." Like,
yeah, they only want to see you from what they knew you for.
Exactly. Yeah. So that
that's
becomes
real.
the hardest part for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Struggle having to cross over that.
Yeah.
Because it takes a humongous amount of work.
Yeah.
That's real on so many levels.
To that point, right? Most people that are in the street, they are killed by people that they know. Because you're not gonna let the enemy get that close to you. It's always somebody that's beside you the entire time. Exactly. So to your question, for me, is yes, most people that are beside somebody are envious of the person that's getting the shine to some degree. So that's why you always have to do a circle check. You got to check who you're around at all times, because the person that you sitting beside and you thinking that they got all this love for you because you show them love, when really they just want your position. So they're waiting for the moment to attack and take it. Like Lion King is my favorite movie of all time. Scar, the way they did the Mufasa movie, that's not even true to the origin, but the way they, the whole concept of Scar basically wanting the pride,
for sure,
and he killed his own brother to get that. Like, that's the normal day to day. Somebody always want to be in your position, no matter what it is. Like, the person in the wheelchair want to ride a bike, the person with a bike want a car, person with a car want a boat, person with a boat want a jet. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like the person that's beside you, if they're not authentically happy for where you are in their life, in your life, and in order for them to do that, they have to be authentically happy where they are with them. Exactly. No matter what they're going through.
Rare as hell.
Exactly.
That's what sets up the game and makes it feel so rigged.
Exactly.
Which is crazy, because like, if you start counting your blessings one by one, and sometimes I have to remind myself of that.
For sure.
The superpowers.
Sometimes I have to remind myself of that. Like, I get stressed and I stop smoking, and let me tell you,
okay,
it really sucks sometimes. Really, like, it really sucks sometimes. I will say that, because I do. First of all, I don't think that there's anything wrong with smoking weed. Let me say that. Let me say that here. This is a platform that believes in being free-minded. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I felt like I managed my stress and my anxiety that way for years, but you get to a point where you have to like start changing your coping methods.
Try different things.
Yeah, and I think for me, I still, like, if I have like a day that requires it, and I feel like I needed to manage the anxiety, then I don't see anything wrong with it. But I think for me, it got to a point where like that was all I was doing to cope. That was all I was doing to manage the stress. And it gets to a space where like, no, you have to start managing and coping outside of like this particular method. Because it's true that we would like make you not give a fuck about something. Or like make you start to rationalize like that's just not that deep, or it's just not that serious, or that you are overthinking this. You are overanalyzing this. You are in your head about this. You having an ADHD moment about this. And sometimes it just don't be that serious.
Right.
But the truth is, like, I think like you gotta find other ways to manage your stress and anxiety, like besides like things of any kind.
Can I share? I'll go now. Go ahead. I'll share after you.
Exercise that I want to give to like the people that smoke out there.
Of course.
So if you smoke consistently, right, take like a day or two off and see what you can tolerate in that time space. You learn a lot about yourself.
That's dope.
For sure. That's a good one. It's been like
that's dope.
I stopped counting after like maybe 4 months or so, but and if I go back, whatever. But I think like that was my coping method. And for me, it just got to a point where it's just like I don't feel like I'm really dealing with anything. Like I just think I'm smoking and saying fuck that shit and moving on. Like, and that's not dealing with things. Like that's not because like depending on the thing, those things are still there. Like when that smoke lifts. And if you haven't found a way to like deal with yourself, to deal with that problem, to deal with that issue outside of that particular method, then it gets kind of crazy. But I encourage everybody to do what they feel like they need to do to manage stress. But for me, I think I started an exercise of like literally counting blessings one by one. Man, I woke up this morning. I got my sight. I could breathe on my own. Like, I ain't bad looking. That's my own crib. Like I got a car to drive. Thing, though. Like sometimes you gotta just like list them out. Like
you know why that works. The thing is this, right? I think this part of like your thoughts is regulated by the prefrontal cortex. So where there's anxiety, right? Anxiety and depression cannot exist at the same time as gratefulness. So if you're grateful, right, you have the anxiety and depression is gonna leave because you're tricking your mind to focus on the positivity. So like that's great. That is great. Like focus on what matters. Focus on your blessings. It cannot exist at the same time. Like you can't be grateful and depressed at the same time. You just can't.
I used to suffer from I felt like depression. I had never gone to like a therapist or anything.
If you feel like it was depression, then that's what it was.
Nah, facts.
And what helped me was just that, literally learning how to count my blessings. And it's so funny, kind of in the way that you did, literally listing out the most bare minimum things that that felt important.
Yeah,
it works.
I haven't felt that in almost 2-3 years now.
I'm telling you.
Congratulations.
Just that alone.
Yeah.
Like
congratulations.
So, yeah, I say that to share that like it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Everybody says it. A lot of things. I think it's weird how a lot of things sound corny, but they really be keys.
Facts.
What is up with that?
Facts. People just don't know.
I really think a lot of it is poor company. Bad company corrupts good character.
Programming.
So facts. Doing this is a blessing.
I'm telling you.
So it's like the fact, like, if I'm grateful that I can do this, exactly. Whatever happened early, it don't. Somebody can't do that. Somebody wish they could do that. Exactly. So it's like
Reed would have killed to do that. I'm just saying. Just saying, nigga. I watched the documentary. A nigga was real sad about that. Like he spent the rest of his life trying to be able to move a finger.
Hey,
I'm trying to tell you, like, if you can, Christopher Reed would have loved to have that. You better count them blessings, boy. I'm trying to tell you, like, listen, like, honestly, I really want to say this. I want to ask this question first, though. And then I'm gonna get into that story and we can get up out of here, man. This ain't Drink Champs. We ain't sitting in this shit. Hey. Niggas want to sit in here all day. God damn, I got stuff to do tonight. But I do want to ask this question, right? Because we're talking about the concept of good company and keeping good friends around you and the fact that bad company corrupts good character, right? What keeps a person going when the people closest to them either don't believe in them or don't want to see them grow or evolve? Let's start with you, Esco.
For me, it's always been that belief in myself. For me, it's always been just knowing that like I have the talent, but then also I started to fall in love with the work, and I started to fall in love with everything that it takes to get there. So I continue to pursue the research and everything, and every day it's literally like when I leave from here, I'm probably gonna be on my phone looking at some more shit, and so it's just literally kind of like and everything structured around my life was made with the decision in mind that I have music to do. I can't remember. I don't know if I'm going off of the question, but
go wherever it leads you. I think tangents are important. Tangents matter here.
Absolutely.
But I don't know where to land. It's kind of where I'm like.
So refocus. Yeah. What keeps you going when people closest to you don't believe in you?
Oh, yeah.
Or your growth or evolution.
Okay, so for me, like I was saying or whatever, what happened with that is that I started realizing, I guess, from a business perspective, that I just needed to market myself to the right people. And what I started realizing was that, and I'm going to share this also because I know a lot of us in this area have struggled with it and a lot of us continue to struggle with it. But if you have family and friends that love and support you naturally, that is a blessing. You should cherish them. You should put them on a pedestal, kiss their feet, wash their feet, all that good shit. If you don't have that, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat your friends and family up about it either. Don't try to make nobody feel bad because nobody told you to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's a decision and a journey you chose for yourself. So with that being said, I think everybody should understand that you should be looking for people that will, because 9 times out of 10 people are actually naturally gifted, right? And 9 times out of 10 it's not that you're not talented, it's that you're pushing your art to the wrong person. You're trying to force somebody that likes pop to like rap, or you're trying to force somebody that likes rap to like pop. Or you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So a lot of times that's what the bigger issue is. So if a lot of us can find the way to really find within ourselves what we're doing, what we sound like, what we want to sound like, and make sure that that is as pristine as possible, 9 times out of 10 there's somebody out there that's going to be amazed by it. Because if we think about it, there's people out here with way worse effort being put into their art that are making millions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Rico,
Question again?
what keeps you going when people closest to you don't believe in you or don't believe in your growth or evolution?
Okay. So, I haven't really experienced that from a direct standpoint. If there was a case where they didn't support or didn't believe, I didn't know.
Okay. So let's turn the question a little bit, right? In the moments where you struggle to believe in yourself, to believe in your art, or to figure out how to push it forward, what did you do?
I wrote more. I wrote more, and honestly, for me, I've always had a strong relationship with God, so I will always talk to God first. Like literally, my prayer was, God, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Because if it is, it should not be this difficult, right? It shouldn't. It's like if what I'm trying to do is for your glory and for your will, this is the purpose that you put on my life. It shouldn't take me this much to have to go through all of this, have to, sit and deal with all of these different people who say they support, but I'm not seeing the benefits of that so-called support. You know what I mean? Like it should not be this difficult. And then I had to look at myself and say, okay, what am I putting out into the world? So for me, it was more so of a lot of a self-reflection, like, all right, maybe this isn't working because I'm putting out negativity. Because like you said, I wasn't making music for women. I was talking about kill this, kill that, shoot this, shoot that, like, cause that's what I knew. You know what I mean? And so it's like, well, God, if what you have for me is greater than what I'm trying to do, show me. And so I literally prayed away the music.
Wow.
I prayed it away. I'm like, I don't want to do it. Like, if this isn't what you have for me, take the desire away from me, because I feel like I'm chasing my tail in a circle and I'm not getting anywhere. So if this isn't what you want me to do, please remove the desire for me to do it until I can focus on whatever it is you need me to focus on. And then once I have that, if it's really in your will for me to still pursue music and you just wanted me to change it because I wasn't getting it, like it wasn't clicking, then you can bring it back later on. And so even like now, people like, yo, you still making music? I'm like, I'm not even focused on that right now. Is my pen still nice? Absolutely. But am I in the studio actively? Nah, I'm writing sermons now. You know what I mean? So it's like it's different. But I also feel like my pursuit of music prepared me for the pulpit, right? Because I'm comfortable. Like I know how to deliver a message. My message now is just more positive. And so for me, it was just that self-reflection is what kept me going. My constant conversations with God, like, hey, checking in, like, what am I supposed to be doing? And that's what kept me going.
I think you both have said something extremely powerful. And I think you can apply it to a lot of things. I think what Esco is saying as far as changing your audience, that is true for a lot of you men and women out there too. If you feel like the relationships that you carrying on, whether they're friendship and platonic or whether they're romantic, the job that you at, whatever it is, if you feel like this thing is not feeding you, is not serving you. It's not helping you to evolve and grow and be the very best of yourself. And moreover, if it does not have the capability to do that, right? Because some of it is about not just tailoring your audience, but also like tailoring the product a little bit, right? You got to get a little cleaner with your delivery as well. Exactly. So some of it isn't just about that these people may not be giving you what you need. How have you asked? Right. Right. Tone and inflection matter. Intent matters.
Mm-hmm.
So, you gotta sometimes change the audience, but sometimes you gotta clean up the product too. You gotta clean up the delivery. And then on the other end, some of it is just about being honest and asking God, like, if this is not for me, Lord, remove my taste for it.
Mm-hmm.
Take it from me. And that's gonna be true with some of the people in your life as well.
Come on.
God, if that ain't for, I'm praying that right now in the name of Jesus. Whoever watching this, man, if it's not for you, I pray God take it from you and replace it with something better, because He always does.
A little tidbit, not to with that, right? What I've also found in regards to that is you don't even have to pray it away. The more time you spend with God, you start to look more like God. And so those people that are not really of you and not in support of you, they're going to leave on their own because they no longer know how to receive you. They don't know how to talk to you because they don't know you no more. So they going to leave anyway. So you don't have to, you don't have, like, you can. It's always nice to if you want to, but you don't have to. Just spend more time with God. True, authentic time. Don't just check a box, right? Like, God don't care. He's not impressed with you just reading the chapter just to say you read it if you ain't you didn't retain anything that was read. The quality is if I have 2 minutes of uninterrupted time where I can read this one passage, right? Maybe it's a paragraph, and I can take that and apply that to my life. That's more meaningful to God than you reading the whole book and ain't know what it's talking about. So when you do that, when you spend real authentic time with God, you start to change and people just drop off anyway. Like, there are people that have been in my life for 20 plus years that I don't talk to now. And I ain't praying them away. I just moved closer to God. And it was like, I don't hear from them. Or when you reach out to them and you talk to them, it's awkward. But then the catch 22 to that is people that I hadn't talked to when I was in the world, they came back. So it was just like a transference, and it's like, yo, I see your walk, like what you do, how you do this, how you do this, and so it's like, okay, cool. So it's the people that are supposed to be there will be there.
Lesson of the day, man. What's meant to be will be, and the people that's supposed to be there, gon' be there. Another great show today. I'm super duper duper honored to have had these two guests sit before me. Not necessarily the show I intended, but I think the show that we needed. So I'm honored by the presence of you both. Come back anytime. I'm super thankful. I want you guys to, make sure you give up your socials one more time. Anything that you got coming up that you want the people to know about, take as much time as you need to kind of give that to the people, and we can get up out of here. Let's go. Let's go.
So once again, my name is Goezko. That's Goezko. And I got two projects I'm working on. I got a bunch of singles I'm doing, working on videos, shows. I'm hitting the streets with street performances. I'm working on merch. I'm about to drop some new merch. I've dropped like two whatchamacallit capsules this year. I'm working on some more designs. I have a growing community. We're very interactive. We have a group chat and we communicate every day. I post daily transmissions to keep us guided. So just join me on this journey, and we can build together.
Shout out to Saga City.
For sure, for sure. Don Rico, all socials again, _ Don Rico. So that's _ DONRICO _ Right now, I don't have any musical things going on right now, but I am at the Master's Child Church in Bowie. So, I encourage anybody to come and get a word. We young, be youthful, we love the Lord, no judgment, come as you are. Do your big one.
Amen. And I am, of course, your host, at Mia Was Here, 5 underscores on the personal page, at You Weren't There Podcast. on IG, TikTok, X, and all of the above. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. As usual, man, I'm thankful for everybody that tuned in. I appreciate you guys. I'm honored by your presence. I'm honored that you tap in every single week. And we just gonna continue to give you guys something special. Next week, we got the Girl Talk episode. That's gonna be a fire one. Please don't beat me up in the comments when you hear some stuff you don't like. I prepped you for it today. God bless y'all. I appreciate y'all, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.